The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast.
Kind of needlessly.
Real Doctor Who fans.
With
real Doctor Who opinions.
Needlessly long, but...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Whovians of all ages. Welcome to the Dr. Alhambra Podcast. Brace yourself for a cosmic journey through time and space with our seasoned hosts, the encyclopedic Brett, the audio aficionado Liam, and the master of speculation Legion. Time travelers, fasten your seatbelt and adjust your bow ties and get ready for the delightful exploration of all things Doctor Who. Welcome to the Dr. Alhambra Podcast, where adventures are endless and the discussions are timeless.
We need that as an intro with like a really, really dun, 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 sort of music in the background.
Like epic music.
Yeah.
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 I love the fact that an AI has basically decided our jobs and we've just gone, yeah, all right, yeah, fuck it. Computers rule my life.
Yeah. I mean...
Why not just, one more step, I
mean, encyclopedic, no, but you know what? I can always pretend to be. Liam, audio aficionado. I mean, there is some main range from Big Finish that he still dislikes because the mastering was off in his book, even though I think if he would have listened to him with headphones, he would have gotten there a little less gripey. But I mean,
I should know this. Which stories?
Doom
one
Coalition,
of them,
anyone?
What was
First
that?
One?
Oh yeah, Doom Coalition.
Yeah, there's one in Doom Coalition, and
1.
then there is the Sixth Doctor.
No. It was the entire bloody box set.
Oh, well, there's the Sixth Doctor and Flip story with Syl that he absolutely hated.
Did I? No, which one?
I mean, I hated that for different reasons.
What?
Really?
Not the audio mastering.
What, the Antidote to Oblivion? Antidote to Oblivion? No?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
No, I've never disliked that one.
Okay, well, go back to our catalog and listen to you hate on it and kind of revile it because the mastering was off. Just go check that episode out.
I don't. Okay. I don't remember that at all.
Back to the point made in the chat. Liam is wrong. Not always wrong, but a little bit wrong.
It's just to the degree.
I introduced him to a chat group that I got added to the other day as my very own Slither Beast. So
my response was to call you an Ogron, so it's fine.
I know, it's fine. It is fine. I accept that. Although I'm a lot hairier than an Ogron.
Oh, okay.
Well, what do we got on tap, gentlemen?
Monkey is as monkey does.
What have we got on tap today? Today, we are basically having a nice casual podcast. We're going to discuss Doctor Who, obviously, the rumours of the Big Finish license changing after 2025. It's all speculation at the moment. The other rumours about missing episodes are being recovered, but people's fears about what will happen if they get returned to the BBC. And my phone's going mental tonight.
Popular man.
Shut that up.
Well, I mean, is there any more RTD kind of news, rumours?
No, there is. There's extra bits announced about the Daleks that we didn't discuss last week that have been announced in the news, which I think is really interesting. And naturally, all the people on the Ian Levine group are up in arms about it.
Of course they are, because it's the Ian Levine group.
What are they up in arms about?
The fact that RTD is adding new Dalek dialogue.
Oh, to the classic?
Mm-hmm. To the 75-minute edit.
Well,
and they've got David Graham to voice the Daleks again.
Have they? That's really cool. I like that.
So I can see their grumblingness.
Fair play.
In all honesty, but I will defend the change, because if they're going to condense a long bit of 7 episodes into 70, 80 minutes or so, you're going to have to change the dialogue to make the story a little bit more flowing so that they can...
And also make sense.
Yeah.
No, I think that's awesome, though, that David Graham's coming back. I mean, that's pretty... I mean, I'd be interested to hear what the Daleks sound like with his vocal tones with the, ring modulator. Because, let's face it, the ring modulator that they used back in the original was completely different to how they do them now. But
that's
going to be
because
interesting.
you got to think about it. The entire sound has been redone by Mark Ayres. That includes vocal sound. So he may have remodulated the voices for the Daleks anyway, which wouldn't surprise me if he has. This is only the first colorization coming, by the way.
Okay.
I bet you the next one's going to be...
There is another one coming next year.
Invasion of... the Dalek invasion. I bet you that's going to be the next one.
Nah. Do you know what I think would work really well?
What?
This is coming as someone who is now totally blind, but did first see it back when he could see and thought it was great in black and white because it's really atmospheric, but I think colour would do it good.
Mm-hmm.
The Tomb of the Cybermen.
I don't know. I think
Can
the
you
black
imagine
and
giving
white...
it that hammer?
I think the black and white
colour
does
palette.
it. Yeah.
It's really atmospheric in black and white. It's great. I love it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I think of them colorizing certain episodes or doing what they're doing. I mean, it's a tough one because I think there's a point where you should leave some stuff alone. But
No, I agree with that because, like, what was it? Way in the late 90s, Hollywood started colorizing classic, they colorized Casablanca. They colorized a couple of other things, and it was one of those, and the funny thing is my sister worked at one of those, media centers, and, she would just watch them, stock the shelves, and the black and white versions would be sold, and people would buy she'd watch them buy the color version of them just out of curiosity, and oftentimes the color one would get tried to be returned because they're like, this isn't good. It's better the original way.
The original way, yeah.
Well, because you have to light things differerly compared to when you are lighting things for color compared to black and white. You need the shadows, you know. So
my thing is, I do very, very much agree with you. Excuse me, I keep wrecking the joint today. I'm not having much luck with things. I very much agree with you. I think things that are in black and white should stay in black and white. But I don't see an issue with a small story being done every now and then. It's not like they're going through every single 60s episode that exists and recolorizing it. Also, you've got fans I hate saying this, but it's true. You've got Generation Z. Part of Generation Z will not watch black and white media.
Oh yeah, because they deem it as boring.
And they haven't got the attention span to. Yeah,
thanks TikTok.
Yeah, I know.
I know, right?
Fucking kids TV back in our day, right?
I hate TikTok.
Right. Okay. Here's a side step for you. Back in our day, kids shows. How long was an episode?
About a half hour.
Half an hour? 35 minutes?
Half an hour to an hour. Yeah. Nowadays, it's between 5 minutes and 15.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dreadful.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Bloody kids. Not knowing that they're born.
Yes, should we move on to the Big Finish stuff?
All right, so Big Finish stuff. Here is something I would like to lead off on because I don't have any information on this, but I do think it's very interesting. This was sent by our friend Legion, who is the only member of this podcast still a part of the Big Finish listeners group. I mean, one of us left willingly. The other one, no.
Got laughed out, as it were.
Done in by an emoji. Oh, my word.
This is... You would have gotten away with it too.
But what? Oh man. All right. So this was sent to the group, and so Legion starts us off as saying, taken from the listeners page. This is, hi all. There's some rumors circulating about Big Finish this weekend. The admins would demand all members not to discuss or speculate on this in the group unless an official announcement comes from Big Finish directly. Edit, just to be clear, the rumors are nothing to do with business closures. Many thanks in advance.
And I wonder how they know that.
Do you want to know how much digging this took me to find out any of these rumors? You know, they've basically stoked the fire that loads of people have gone, what the hell are you on about? And have naturally gone looking. It took me hours to find this out. And the rumor is, and it's it's a rumor that I fully get and I appreciate. And do you know what? I don't think it'll be a bad bloody thing. The license isn't being removed, from what I understand. The license for Big Finish and producing Doctor Who audio is changing. That is the key word, from 2025. Because the powers that be, i.e. the BBC, Disney, Sony, and RTD especially, want a more concise brand.
Mm-hmm.
They want a brand that goes hand in hand, and they don't basically want oversaturation. They want to saturate the market, of course they do, but they want to saturate the market with good product and basically stop Big Finish from producing, you know, the Adventures of Linda.
A ton of spin-off stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Which I
What? Whoa!
Yeah,
Whoa!
I can kind of
stop!
I can kind of understand.
Stop! What? Big Disney is trying to, or the BBC is trying to quash the Linda box set? What?
I'm sorry, Brett. You're going to get a cease and desist in the post very soon.
Come on, show them your trailer. This is the perfect time, Brett.
Okay, here's my proposal to Nick Briggs, Jason Haig-Gallery, and the Big Finish think tank. Linda, box set volume 1.
You're listening to a Big Finish production.
But the thing is, you know, when you're a kid, they tell you it's all grow up. Exterminate! Exterminate! Get a job.
You will be deleted.
Get married.
I'm flashing you my knickers.
Get a house.
But I should tell you that the Silurians have long since abandoned the way of mediation.
Have a kid and that's it.
Brings this gift of death to all humans.
The truth is, the world is so much stranger than that.
Here we are. A little reward for my favourite handyman.
It's so much darker. London Investigation and Detective Agency. Linda, for short. And so much madder. It's a relationship of sorts. We manage. We've even got a bit of a love life.
Oh, let's not go into that.
Big Finish. We love stories.
That's it. I'm going to special edit that sucker, and I'm going to put the trailer in the, this is going to be a permanent fixture at the top of our podcast. That's it.
That is exactly why I put it in here. That's why I said it, because I wanted it placing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that cease and desist is in the post, Brett. I'm sorry.
Apparently, there was also a rumor as well that there was going to be a box set. This apparently came from the Who division. I don't know who they are. I've just heard this on a YouTube video. I don't know if they're a news outlet or if they're another content creator. But the rumor was that there was going to be a 12th Doctor box set where he meets classic Doctors, and that's also apparently been stopped because of the whole, producing stuff just because of, why not kind of thing. It's the same thing with the Once and Future, of just pairing up characters just because they can. So I don't know. I think that if handled well, this could be a good thing, because I think this is also going to cut down on their output, which, well, hey, everybody likes, because bank balance. So that's also a good thing. But I would prefer less and have the stories of a higher caliber than just
Less is more.
as you said. Yeah. And as you say, Leach, I'd rather have less is more, and rather than oversaturation and just dross.
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts, Brett?
So I think, and here's where, I think conspiracies are going to happen, because I think part of the conspiracy is going to be, well, now on Big Finish audios, are we going to have the Disney Plus logo on? I mean, granted, I don't believe that
No.
will be, but
No.
the conspiracy is going to happen, and you're going to feel as though that this is going to be oversight by, the House of the Mouse type of a situation. I do agree that what you said is, less is more. Again, and I'm kind of curious as I kind of scan ahead to 2024, is either there's not a lot announced, or Big Finish is scaling back. I mean, that it's kind of an interesting thing to look at. I mean, again, if we were to look at January of 2024, we have the audiobook, Ronnie Takes on the World, the monthly Torchwood, First Doctor Adventures, we have a Thunderbird Star Cup. Notice, there is 2 worlds of Big Finish, and then there are 2 worlds of Doctor Who, and then you have the First Doctor Adventure and a novel.
Oh.
And then when we go
Speaking
to
of carry on.
Okay. Then when we go to the next month, for some reason my internet is refusing to load, but it's just one of those things where I'm curious if Big Finish is scaling back, because I did let's just refresh the page. I did, before the podcast, do something that, I brought up to in the previous podcast, which was on the Once and Future tabs. Generally, there is a, awards or notable whatever, where podcasts and blogs are, highlighted. And I went to the Once and Future, the Time Lord Immemorial and the last one. And the Time Lord Immemorial does have one of those tabs. And it basically is a nice sentence with a rating of 8.5 out of 10. And I was just like, so they only found one, and they only found one that did not give it a perfect 10. Like, generally, most of them are perfect 10 or 9.5. And so I feel as though the output is faltering. Now, I've been many, many places, and a lot of people are speaking highly of the Once and Future. And it's one of those interesting things, and this goes back to your question about scaling back and doing some other stuff. Are they? Or, again, one of my criticisms of the Big Finish listeners group is I feel as though they are saying nice, fluffy things to be protective of Big Finish, because they too would like to get an in to Big Finish to either write or, maybe get their Paul Sprague's memorial thing noticed. And if they are deemed as negative, well, maybe they see their chances as, being dropped down. And the only reason why I say that is Marvel Comics has been known to, throw, a, 4-part story towards somebody who has not criticized them. It's a practice that has happened. And so that'd be, I don't know, just weird conspiracy hat corner for me.
And speaking of the First Doctor and stuff, which you jogged my memory, wasn't it you, Legion, who mentioned about there's going to be another David Bradley box set coming, but
apparently, yes,
it's going to be
apparently
Unbound Doctor or something, and it's not. It's the David Bradley stuff is an Unbound Doctor. Something to do,
I've not heard that.
Something to do with the license.
I've not heard that
what
at
they
all.
Can do now. Huh.
A load of fans were up in arms and basically classing it as Unbound when it first launched. But there's meant to be a 6th box set coming. Now, it's been coming since 2020 odd, before 2020. So I'll be interested to see if we get it. But there is meant to be another one coming. I think Big Finish is oversaturating. I think they're their own worst enemy at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Big Finish. I have loved Big Finish for 20 odd years. But I do think they are their own worst enemy. You know, back in the day when we got an announcement, we were all like, yeah, that sounds really good. And then we started getting just random stuff through. It's taken one whole series before the Paternoster Gang got good, which, you know, that's 12 episodes. It took 6 whole box sets of the robots before they went, hey, this is really good. Oh, we're going to extend it by 2.
No,
now we're going to cancel it.
No, it was 4.
Yeah, it was 4. Then it became 6. Yeah. And then they went, hey, it didn't sell very well anyway.
Well, but I mean, they ended it where they meant to, though, at 6.
No, yeah, but it was meant to be 4.
Well, yeah.
You know, I think they're their own worst enemy. Remember when they announced Rogue Centurion and they basically the last Centurion, everyone just went, ugh. And, I put my hands up and say that turned out to be the greatest spin-off in the past 5 years.
Well, the second box set was great.
The first box set's pretty good as well.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
The second box set's great.
Yeah.
They need more.
They do. But this is what I mean. For all the for all like griping of they're only releasing one Gallifrey box set a year, which I get, and I think they should speed that up. And it shouldn't take 4 years to do a 4-part box set arc. But on the other hand,
it's the only consistent good thing.
Yes, they've all been good box sets that I've binged and just not put down and really enjoyed. So, I really think less is more, and I really think what they should do is they should scale back and they should be perhaps constrained a bit more to what they start to put out and produce. And I think that what would be good as well is if they come in line with RTD, and what they can do and have a more consistent brand is, they drop references in the TV series.
It's like Brett said.
And then they go, then they go and go, okay, go back and listen to this box set and then advertise the box set, after the episode or something.
Yeah. Oh, if you want to hear more about that adventure, why not check this out? You don't have to, but you could.
Mm-hmm. But you could, yeah.
Like Brett said with the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And things like that. Yeah, I've got this wondrous idea that Big Finish could do, right? And rather than, I know I'm going to sound like a scratch record now, but what they could do is, it's worked for some companies, is rather than producing these box sets, they could do maybe a 4-part or 6-part story, just one, and release it monthly.
Yeah.
Well, I will
different Doctor each month. They could call it the monthly range. There's a company that produced it for 22 years, and it worked really well.
That's true. I wonder what company that was.
Nah, I don't know.
I Finish Big, I think.
Interesting.
So I like that you brought that up, because at one podcast a while ago, I had an idea and it escaped my mind in one of our discussions, and what you're suggesting kind of brought it back to the forefront of my mind. And so we've talked about how, at least for the classic Doctors, 1 hour stories or 2, half-hour, 1 hour story for a thing just generally doesn't work. But because of price, because they're content on doing, 3-disc box sets for the classic Doctors, here is my suggestion. And I think I think it's a good suggestion. So what you could do is you could sell, a box set and it be have 2 stories in it. The first story would be your standard, 4-parter, 2-hour story. The second part is a 1-hour story to be continued in the next box set. Then you purchase the next box set, you get that. When it comes time to download, or when you want to pre-order, you can pre-order, the each physical copy, but you are going to have to. You're going to have to wait. The only way you can get it though is through, getting the whole box set. If you want to get the download, you either need to buy the box set and get the first story and either be fine with the second part of the story, or you could invest in the whole story for the second story or whatever, but you're going to have to wait out for, when it comes back around 6 months later to have access to the whole thing. And I think that would give you something to look forward to. And I think we've discussed this many times on the podcast, is sometimes because of all the turnout for Big Finish, I think the struggle is there's so much, and then you either lose interest, you're not interested in the characters, similarly to with me with the Passing Gang, not interested in the characters, or for the War Master, not completely lost interest early on. And then it would possibly build some momentum for something to look forward to, because when we have the binge model that Netflix has presented us with, I feel as though it's been so much easier just to binge something, and we're losing out on the excitement, the build up, the what if, what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen next month with the trilogies with Big Finish. Like, doing the whole box set, it kind of kills the discussion. I mean, and if you're in the Big Finish listeners group, the discussion's killed already, so you don't have to worry about that. But I mean, that's just something I thought.
I think it's telling on that page how chat has gone down considerably. It's moved mainly over to the Big Finish Audios group, or there's a couple of other Big Finish groups that have popped up recently.
Yeah.
Where there is open, frank, and true discussion.
Yeah, there's one that I jumped on after I got kicked out. That randomly, and you're right. I feel as though it has, the people are leaving that group because discussions aren't allowed to occur, even though they're proud that they have Big Finish, writers and contributors or whatever on the group. They're very proud that they have that, but you can't but now you're sacrificing actual good dialogue because you're worried that your Paul Sprague's memorial script won't be chosen because you allowed that one thing to be said about Nick Briggs or something like that. Like, that's, I don't know.
I know exactly what you mean.
Have you seen the ident yet for the Hooniverse on the Tales of the TARDIS stuff?
I don't actually know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So the Doctor Who brand now has, like Star Wars does, it has its own little ident thing. And I think it's quite cool. The music, I think, is quite cool anyway. I'd like your opinion as a sighted person to basically look at the Hooniverse ident, because it literally says the Hooniverse. Doesn't say Doctor Who, it says BBC Hooniverse.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, some eyes on that would be good.
Is it just the page? Is it just
No, it's everything. No, it's everything. It's
like literally,
like I said,
Doctor Who now, when they're being published online, when they're on Disney Plus, on BBC iPlayer, whether they're on YouTube, if it's a series, DVD, etc., is now going to have this Hooniverse ident, which is going to make the collections really annoying because they're, the first half don't have it, and then the rest of them will.
Yeah. Oh well.
But it's like the Star Wars one, which is like all the rotating droid heads and all that comes together.
Darth
and it
Vader
goes,
and all that.
Lucasfilm.
Okay.
Star
LTD,
Wars.
I know what you're talking about. The whole Marvel thing where it, flips through all those. Yeah. Okay. So I just found it. I'm playing it. So basically what it is, it is very visual. It starts with a close up of Shooty's face. As it's being pulled out, you see the 14th Doctor, David Tennant. You see you see so it forms a W. So Shooty's face is at the very apex of the center of the W. As they pull it out, you see on the left side David Tennant's 15th or 14th Doctor. On the other side, you see Tom Baker's 4th Doctor. As they pull it down, you see just below Shooty, William Hartnell's 1st Doctor. And then right by that, on the other side, is Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor. And then it gets pulled out. They kind of, you kind of see some of the companions on some of the other things. And then as they pull it out, it forms into Who with a DVD logo on it. And then the universe kind of attaches at the tail end. It's really nice. I think I like that a lot better than the, to entertain the, I love it a lot better than the stupid 13th Doctor, TARDIS screech, and then the 13th Doctor logo. Because now that is another thing I should bring up. Because again, I am part of the Doctor Who OCD group on Facebook, and they every so often will create their own self-created, artwork for Big Finish or artwork for Doctor Who or whatever. And the instant they changed the standard, I guess you could say Paul McGann-ish kind of logo for Doctor Who, and basically said we're rocking the 13th Doctor's logo on all this brand new stuff. This is the way forward. Well, now we have a new logo. So now all of my stuff that I bought pre 13th Doctor is going to be in the classic logo stuff. All of the stuff that I bought during the 13th Doctor era is going to have that logo. And then it's going to go back to more of the, Tom Baker-ish classic logo with a new spin on it. And that right there is obnoxious. Like, I cannot tell you how annoyed I am about that.
There is one thing that will keep the 13th Doctor's logo.
What?
The 13th Doctor
and it's
stuff?
only one thing.
What's
no,
that?
not the 13th Doctor stuff. The collection. But I love, there is a very good reason for the collection keeping the 13th Doctor's logo.
What's that then?
And it's when RTD took over and he basically went, look, I know you guys are worried about the collection. I collect them too. And it would annoy me if the logo's changed halfway through.
That's kind of cool.
You're like, RTD, the man of the people. So, but it's
there's
like,
also a rumor as well
said,
that there's also a rumor as well that the footage of Shooty in that logo is actually footage from the latest season. Apparently, I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard.
him
was
out.
just a face,
Let me
isn't it?
just jump in the TARDIS and I'll check and I'll come back. All right. Yep, it is.
Okay. Cool.
I love the fact that the Christmas special was put out by Disney before the BBC, and Disney went, "Hey guys, Disney, Christmas Day, Doctor Who, be there or be square."
It's so weird.
I've got a really corny Mickey Mouse related skit for you, but I think it's funny. I don't think you guys will.
Okay, well,
What's
let
that?
me just say one more thing before you do the Mickey Mouse thing so that you can get your vocal range all prepared. And that is so weird because I was told by my last, executive producer, showrunner, that I did not like Christmas episodes. So that's so weird that they're doing a Christmas episode and that Disney's actually excited for this.
I know.
It's so weird.
Mm.
All right, well,
It's so
sure,
weird.
I
So
guess
weird.
if I have to.
And then you've
Damn
got
RTD
Mickey
making
Mouse
it like Christmas again.
You've got Mickey Mouse just sat in the corner going, "Ho ho ho ho! All right, fellas, we've got to reverse the polarity of the financial flow."
Yeah, but what you don't realise is Mickey Mouse is stood there in a velvet jacket with a sonic screwdriver while he's saying that.
Yes. Oh my word. Somebody created a
You can
meme the
refer
other
to me
day and
as the
I took
master.
an immediate screenshot of it. It is Scooby-Doo and the gang meeting the 13th Doctor. It is, basically Scooby-Doo animationized with his velvet jacket. And I just was like, I need this to be a thing now. Like, oh, I need this in my life now.
The thing is, where I could see Scooby and the gang actually meeting the Doctor could be the second Doctor in the land of fiction.
No, it's the third Doctor.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
The third Doctor would be just amazing, wouldn't it?
Sorry.
Oh my
You're wrong.
word, Jamie. That's a big one. It's a very large dog, isn't it, Doctor?
Right one, Reggie.
Good grief.
No,
Jumping
if it's
Jehoshaphat.
if it turns into Land of Fiction, Uncle Terry's going to be there.
Quite frankly, that sounds like you're jumping on my grave. I don't like the fact that you're taking the Mickey out. I'm just going a bit Churchill there, aren't I?
yeah, a little bit.
And we will never be defeated.
Oh man, I absolutely love that I can basically make you kind of somewhat dance when it comes to Terrence Dicks. I love that.
I feel his spirit channeled through me. He's my spirit guide. Just a little man with a pronounced speech impediment supping a pint in the corner.
Pint or six, you mean?
I think there's a spirit that wants to talk to you, but I'm not very sure.
Yeah. This is a nice scotch.
Oh dear.
I'm devastated I never got to meet him.
So, one of the articles that both me and Liam kind of shared separately at different points in time was the idea that a second Doctor Who spinoff was going to occur featuring the 8th Doctor. And I posed in the group that this possibly is plausible and the actual reason as to why Big Finish pushed back the 8th Doctor War Doctor box, or not War Doctor, the Time War box set from March-April of 2024 all the way to the end of 2024 because perhaps they might need to do some readjusting to the script and whatnot. I don't know. What are your thoughts not only about this rumor, but what are your thoughts about the 8th Doctor basically getting new life?
I don't know. I think I'm going to say I'm probably in the minority and say no to this, purely because we've had the 8th Doctor on audio for so long, and I'm just worried that they're not gonna like recognize his tenure on audio. But that's just my worry.
I think I will believe it when I see it,
Mm.
and I will appreciate it if it ever comes out. If it ever counteracts Big Finish, I am one of these people. I know Liam isn't, but I am one of these people who has a head canon. Not everything in Doctor Who can coexist and make sense. However, it does in my head because, head canon. So one day something could, take its place and I'm like, oh yeah.
My favorite thing about Liam's headcanon is Liam will create his headcanon and then talk about his headcanon and then want it to be part of your headcanon too. That's my favorite part about Liam's headcanon.
Have you heard this yet? No.
Oh, it's great. I think you should get on board with it. I'm glad that you like that. And then, because my favorite part is Liam will be like, well, what's wrong with it? I'm like, no, I didn't say I did.
Nothing's wrong with it.
You don't have to like it. I just said, I'm glad that you like that. I'm just going to, move on with my life. All right. What else do we got?
One last thing, really, I think, and that's the missing episodes.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I came across this. Just wait 1 second. Oh, wait, sorry. No, you go.
Go for it.
No, you go.
If it's the same thing that you've seen, there was a Guardian article basically put out by a Philip Morris type, Indiana Jones of the TV archiving world. Not Philip Morris, but he basically said there are more Doctor Who and other classic series, not Doctor Who, but, like Tony Hancock's Half Hour, things like that, that are out there. And the owners of them are dying and not giving them back to the BBC because the BBC's policy, when you used to work for them, is you never took anything, otherwise you'd be prosecuted. And they are worried that if they return these film canisters, they're going to get prosecuted by the BBC.
Yeah, but I heard that there was actually no founding to that because, Bob Monkhouse apparently got reprimanded in the 70s for collecting stuff, but he got exonerated, and I don't see why the BBC would punish the people now because they're generally asking and going, because they're generally asking, look, bring this stuff back to the archives. So
the major issue, and the major issue here is the collectors are basically going, well, if we give our canisters back, we will never get those canisters back ourselves for our collections, which is the main gripe that they have because they've looked after them for so long, they're part of their collection. They've got no issue with them being scanned, but if they're returned to the BBC then goes, these are mine now. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, so I think there's an interesting thing surrounding this because, again, these people saw something of value to them. Like it wasn't I don't see them doing it because it was a value to, be making money years down the road. They were told, because in the Guardian article, and there's another article that I read about this, and yet they're terrified of being prosecuted because there is set precedent for prosecution. It was part of everything. And, you'd think that a franchise as big as Doctor Who, the BBC should be like, we need to make sure that we get these back however we can get these back because we would rather maybe spend the money to remaster them rather than spending the probably, 4 times the amount to animate one of the, 4 or whatever episodes. And I think there needs to be some consideration because these people disobeyed their, the request, their job, because they saw value where the BBC did not. And, in all honesty, fans should be, picketing and being angry with the BBC for their this is taking up space and it's, nobody wants to see it again. So we're going to have these destroyed. And if you salvage these things, we're going to prosecute you because we deem these unimportant. That is to me, they should be honored. They should be knighted. They should, they should have so much stuff because their incompetence saved the show that the BBC had no idea. They either didn't care or they were just so short-sighted that they did not see the potential of keeping these for long periods of time. So I don't know.
Hey guys, you know what doesn't take up space in our archives, don't you?
What's that?
Matches.
Well, I mean, the funny thing about that is the only thing that doesn't take up space in their archives, according to them, is all the billing. We need to have all the paper records for how much we spent on this episode, on this, on this special effect, on the lunch for the day, how much we spent, how much we paid the director, how much we paid the extras. That could take up space in their archives. But the actual product, the finished product that aired, no use.
No, we don't need that.
I need to know how much it cost William to feed William Hartnell that one day. That was the most important thing. Not the actual episode he appeared in. How much it cost to feed him that day.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of the archive, did you want to talk about the whole Ian Levine email that he sent to the BBC about the the poor quality episode 2 of The Reign of Terror?
Didn't we?
This is a thing of beauty.
No,
I don't know if we did, but this is a thing.
Maybe it was on the group
not on the
chat.
podcast.
Sorry.
No, on the group, yeah.
Ian Levine sent the same email to the BBC, basically going, "The Reign of Terror episode 2 is crap. What are you doing about this quality?" And he got the exact same answer back that Liam did, basically a stock answer. It's what we hold in the archive. It's the best quality available, blah, 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 blah. Ian Levine replied to this with, "Well, actually, I discovered the film canister in Cyprus in 1982. Back then, it was much better quality, and the version that you have in the archives is much better quality. What did you do to my canister to get it this bad quality?"
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.